Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about how to find the right coach for you. If you know anything about me, I'm a mindset coach. I do several other types of coaching from my webpage. If you can just go over to the service area and then you'll see that there's so many different types of coaching that I do. I do life and mindset coaching, career coaching, relationship coaching, youth coaching and mentoring, and health and fitness coaching. I already spoke about all of the individual coachings that I do on a Wednesday episode in the past, recently in the past couple of months, where I was talking to you about the work I do in those areas of coaching. Now, remember, I might not be your cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine, but I do have these coaches on my YouTube channel. So you can go to YouTube, go over to playlist, and then from playlist, you can go down to the playlists that are there, and then you can head over to the interview tabs, and you're going to see all the coaches that I've ever interviewed, and you can learn more about them. And also you can find some of my interviews where I'm on someone else's platform. So if I was on someone else's podcast, where I put it in the playlist is the interviews because it's basically an interview. So you can easily see what people are asking me to here in the interview tabs. And we have some pretty big interviews here that you can go check out and of pretty big name people too. So I encourage you to go to the interview tab. Now, the interview tab of me being a guest on someone else's show is exclusive only to YouTube. Yes, I might share the link on my social medias and stuff like that, but I don't do it as to promote it. You're only going to see that once. So when the episode came out, I promote on all the social medias. So I encourage people to check out the interview tab in my YouTube channel, and you can listen to some never before heard interviews, because if you're just an audio listener, then the interview tab on the YouTube channel is going to be different than what you're getting in the audio episodes. So with that being said, right, we talked about how I interview a lot of coaches, how coaches are interviewing me or other people are interviewing me about my coaching, what I do, right? Because when we think about, well, what is a mindset coach? We have talked about it before. The videos on YouTube, the podcast episode has been recorded and people are looking at, well, what is a mindset coach, right? Who is Michael Rearden? Who is the guy who's talking about mindset in the way of, oh, he must know what mindset is. One of the things that I plan on doing, and I guess I'll throw it out there so it kind of gives me a little bit more accountability, is that not anytime soon, but I'm thinking in my 40s, I'm going to go for my PhD, my doctorate. Not that I need it. I don't need it. However, I want to attain it. It's just something that I'm giving myself a goal for. Similar to how I want to help 2 billion people in the world, one of the personal goals that I have is to have a doctorate, to be Dr. Rearden, right? I'm not going to run around saying, hey, you need to call me doctor, right? That's my new pronoun. You call me doctor. No, like if you want to call me Michael, you want to call me Mike, still that's fine. You want to call me Mindset Mike, that's cool. You want to call me Teach, whatever. I don't care about the title. What I'm looking for is to write a bunch of papers and like a dissertation. I know people are like, I had to write this huge dissertation and it was so much and I can't wait. I have been writing, I don't know if you've seen it, but the blogs that come out, they're long, they're lengthy. And so the blogs coming out, me writing a paper, me doing a little bit of research, that's going to be easy. So I'm going to be talking about mindset, going to be talking about the psychology of the mind, the psychology of the modern world, the psychology of the future world. I'm going to write, I don't know how many papers I have to write for my doctorate, but I'm going to write them all right? If I have to write extra, I will. If I can write extra, I will. I don't need extra credit or anything. But the process of that is me just getting ready to be world renowned, right? Because we know Carol Dweck, right? She did the fixed mindset and the growth mindset individuals for mindset, right? It's a great book, right? It's a book that everyone should read. And it has so many truths to mindset, right? What I'm bringing is going to be not just looking at the type of mindsets a person is, but we're going to be looking at the environment that the person is going to be in. And not just if you're around fixed-minded people, this is the environment, this is how you become. But we're going to be looking at the ghetto, we're going to be looking at the rich class and how they form, how they move, because they surround themselves with different people, they act different, they have a different demeanor. This is all psychology, all right? So if I'm around a certain group of people and they're a certain way, if I'm in a different area of the world and I'm around the same people, there's going to be a lot of similarities there. So we have to make sure, well, why is mindset so similar if the environment is a little bit different? If the situations weren't ideal for the individual, what is mindset? Truly, what is mindset? That is for every aspect of coaching though, right? It's not just mindset. What is finance? What is money to people, right? Because a lot of people are having a hard time making money. A lot of people are having a hard time making ends meet. They can't pay the mortgage. They can't pay the bills. They're maybe piled on the credit card debt, or they're behind on loans, or whatever is happening in their life, right? Why is it that some people are really good with money, but then some people are really bad with money? Or relationships. Why are some people really good at relationships and they know how to communicate and they're able to have date nights and to be effective communicators? But then there's some people who just suck at it, right? Why is that? Is there not a guide for people to read that says, hey, you read this or you watch this video here at Coaching in Session, this is going to teach you how to be an effective person in your relationship? Because even if I created a video like that, someone who didn't have an effective relationship watched a video on being an effective relationship, do you think that they're just going to automatically be in an effective relationship? No, they're not. The steps are there. Do they take the steps? That's the next question. Most of the time, people don't take the steps. Most times, people are going to listen to Coaching in Session because they like my voice. They like what I'm saying. It is truth, right? They might even be giving themselves some motivation. All right, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to be motivated, right? So they're getting ready to take action, yet they don't take the action. So is it because of environment? Is it because they don't have the tools and the resources? But I mean, if you go to the YouTube channel, if you go to the main website, reardenconcepts.com, you can find a blog. You can find a video, you can find some motivation to get the life that you want. But why are we not, right? So we have to ask ourselves, well, if we can't do it by ourselves, then how are we going to be able to do it? The best way to do it, if you can't do it by yourself, is to get someone who's going to hold you accountable. And the way you do that is by getting a coach. I have talked in the past about just getting an accountability partner. I had guests even say you can get an accountability partner if you can't afford a coach. And I mean, that's better than nothing. The issue with your accountability partner is that you're not putting any skin in the game. So you might just say, okay, well, I want to do this, hold me accountable. And though that be fine and well and dandy and all that good stuff, just because you have someone watching you, it doesn't mean that they're going to say, hey, you need to pick it up. You need to figure this out. Most people are not going to be like gun-ho, drill sergeant, let's go, let's do this. They're going to be more passive. They're going to say, well, okay, well, did you do your best? You did? Okay, well, try again next time. No. You need someone who's going to hold your feet to the flame and saying, hey, if you really want to do this, then we have to figure something out. What do you need right now to get up, to show up? And it's not that, oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, I'm tired today. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has rough moments in their life. It doesn't mean that that's a hall pass for them not to show up. If you don't want to show up, don't show up. But don't say that you want to be something in your life and you're not taking the right actions. So when you get a coach, the process is not as simple as, okay, you got a coach, you hired a coach, and now your life is automatically better. Because people will come work with me for a month and then they will learn about themselves. They will learn, wow, this is a lot of work. This is more work than I thought it would be, right? That work is going to actually scare people away. It's going to scare people back, saying, oh, this is a lot of work. Like, how do I approach this? And I mean, there's two schools of thought here, right? The first school is that you can go very, very slow, very, very slow. Or you can say, this is what needs to be done. Massive action, right? Like a Tony Robbins thing, right? Massive action. We know massive action scares people. Yeah, that's what people need. Because if we just take those baby steps, yes, we're going to get there. But how many thousands of dollars have you now spent in coaching? Because you will be spending quite a bit of money on a coach if you're going to take the slow road, right? We're trying to give you the fast pass, right? If you go to an amusement park, you want to get on that ride as soon as possible. Most people don't want to just wait in line for 2 hours and then that be their day. No, right? Most people want to get on the ride, experience the pleasure, experience the adrenaline, the rush, and say, whoa, that was good. I want to do it again. And they can do it again, but they don't have to wait 3 hours for the ride to come back. I remember when my dad would take us to the amusement park, Six Flags in New England. When we were younger, one of his favorite days to take us was when it was like overcast, a little bit rainy, not full throttle, torrential downpour, right? It wasn't that. It was like misty or something, right? Just clouds. People didn't go out in that type of weather. So when we would go on to Superman or we would go on to all these other Batman rides and all that stuff, we would go on instantly, right? We didn't need a fast pass. We would just get on the ride and we got to go on a ride. Boom, ride again. Boom, ride again. Boom, ride again. And we didn't even have to do much. It was literally just go on, have a good time. Yet today, if we think about the roller coaster, the rides being life, we're trying to live life, right? We're trying to wait in line, do the right thing. But the moment we get a little bit of goodness in our life, whoa, that felt great. And then we have to wait again. We wait until the next good moment comes. The issue with waiting in life is that we don't know how long we're going to be waiting. There are signs when you're in the line saying this is about a 45-minute wait. This is about a 2-hour wait from this point. Sometimes it goes quicker, sometimes it's a little bit longer. Just depends, right? Maybe there's a malfunction, maybe there's an issue, and now you can be waiting even longer than what you thought you were going to be waiting for. You just don't go to the amusement park to stand in line all day. You want some action. And in life too, right? We want some action. Most people want some level of success in their life. Some level. I say some level because some people are going to want different things. Some people are going to want maybe a big house, a lot of cars, a lot of money. That could be success for them, right? Success can be defined as anything as you want it to be. But you need to make sure you have someone who's going to be helping you along the road. So if you're looking for more money, maybe you want to speak to a financial advisor, maybe speak to a money coach. You're probably not going to want to speak to a grief coach if nothing is grieving in your life, right? Yeah, you might be grieving at the loss that you lost a little bit of money at the casino or something like that. But who hasn't been there? You win some and you lose some. Sometimes you just have to set yourself up for victory. Now, that victory can be many different things. I always tell people that you want to give yourself the best hand because you're the dealer of life. In your world, you are the dealer. You get to give yourself all the aces or all the jokers. Which ones are you going to give yourself? I always tell people, give yourself the high card. Because if you can give yourself a card that's going to help you win, why not, right? Most people just think that they're players at the table. So you sit down and you wait for life to give you a hand. But it's the other way around. You are the dealer. You create the hand for yourself. And right now we have a special moment, right? We have all these wonderful coaches that have been coming on. I think we're maybe getting close to over 100 guests at this point, maybe even past it at this point. I can't even keep track. But what I can tell you is that we have so many coaches that are there. They're ready to help. I know I can't help everyone. However, we can always go to reardenconcepts.com, get yourself a consultation, get yourself a complimentary coaching session. And you can begin that process, right? You can begin that process to understand what you need, what you're missing, what you're lacking. It might be just a simple adjustment in just me speaking to you. I can't tell you how many people I speak with just on the consultation basis. They don't have to work with me because I already fixed them. Sometimes they just have to think in a different way. Hey, I noticed how you're thinking in just a short consultation. Just want to let you know this is what I believe. Do you agree with that? Yes or no, right? They might say, I can see where you're coming from, or no, I don't think that's right. Okay, not a problem, right? We got to just work a little bit more to see if it's working because I don't know a person who's going to call me for the first time or set up a meeting with me the first time. And all of a sudden, I know their whole entire life. Even if I comb your social media, even if I call your boss and ask your friend for references, I still won't know who you truly are or what you truly want. Because a lot of people might say what they want, but is that what they truly want? Because a lot of people want to have, again, the riches, the fame, and things like that. But do they want to have the paparazzi? Do they want to have the money problems with taxes and stuff like that? Do they want to have people calling them to borrow money? I don't think so. People might say, well, I don't mind giving a little bit of money, but have a little bit extra. It's not about the little bit extra. It's about the continual barrage of people asking you. And at some point, you're going to want to say no, especially if you don't like the person. Not saying you have to like everyone, right? You don't have to like everyone. So not everyone's going to get your money. Not everyone's going to get your assistance or your help. You have to be very cognizant with your time. And I know sometimes people have a hard time with that. Can I be effective still if I'm giving my time away willy-nilly? I talked about the concept of skin in the game. And the concept of skin in the game is talking about if you are looking for a coach. And I always tell people this, and I've told this story before, is that if you have some skin in the game, right? Meaning you pay for something, you invest in something, time be it too. You're going to find that you're more likely to get something done. I talked about in the beginning of Rearden Concepts and me starting the business, I would do free 2 weeks coaching for people, right? And people will come flock to 2 weeks free coaching, and then they'll get all this stuff, good stuff too, right? Personal training sessions with me, like, whoa, I don't even do it anymore. But the value that brought for them, right? And then after the 2 weeks were up, they showed up every single day too. Every single day for those 2 weeks. And then after those 2 weeks, guess what? They didn't show up. They didn't have someone holding them accountable. No more. Oh, no one's watching me anymore, so I can do what I want. No one's watching me anymore, so I'm just going to live how I want to live. There's nothing wrong living the way you want to live. But then you have to understand, if you want to live a certain way and you're living that way, what are you truly doing, right? So a coach is going to be there. A coach is going to be there to guide you and help you and support you. I will say that even though I had all these wonderful coaches on coaching a session, mindset is very important. My mindset is very important because not everyone is going to want to see you win. Not even the coaches that I interviewed, because that's just who they are. And I think it's akin to seeing people do better than you are. Number one. Number two, we have to look at the aspect of who the person is. And I'm going to give an analogy on this, right? Because, for example, when I have to watch my kid, I watch my kid pretty well. However, when we give our kid to someone else, a friend, a family, a babysitter, they don't do a good job. It's like, why can't you watch the kid effectively? Change the diaper, make sure that they're mentally fortified, all of those things, right? All of those things happen. Yet, when I pick him up or, like after the day, he's like traumatized. It's like, whoa, what's really going on? People won't care for a kid. And it's so funny because I talk to other parents about this and they go, you're right. People don't care for other people's kids the way that they do for their own. I can see that, right? But then it's like when I have to like watch another person's kid and I'm watching them, I'm treating them like my own. It's just like, what is going on in someone else's head that says, well, you're not my kid. You're not my kid. You're not my problem. You're not my client. It's not my problem. But I'm sure you can probably already understand from me. It doesn't matter if you are my client. I'm going to treat you with the utmost care. It doesn't matter if you're my kid. It doesn't matter if you're not my kid. Because I'm going to treat you the same exact way. Love and affection, whatever you need. How can I support you? Are you good? Not just, got a full belly, but mentally, right? Are you entertained, right? Are you entertained, right? Put on a Disney movie or something. That's not happening in the world anymore, right? People have become so selfish in what they are looking for. Some of the people who I've interviewed, the same thing, but not all of them, right? I would say maybe only like 15%, maybe 20, right? Of people who have come on, interviewed, and they have this idea that they want to help people. And I'm sure they do. But is the idea of they want to help themselves greater than they want to help people? That's what I'm starting to feel. They would rather help themselves before they help someone else. Finding the right coach is important. Do your due diligence. Make sure that you find someone who is not afraid to get coaching themselves, who is supportive of the people who support them. Because if you are going to be on a team with someone, like you have a coach, you're on a team with that coach, you're going to want to see that they're supporting you and then also that you support them in some way too, right? It's kind of like a push and pull type of thing. Both parties are going to prosper. But if it's one-sided on either side, then you're not sitting on the same side of the table like what coaches should be doing. You're sitting across from each other. What can I get from you and what can I give you? That's what it is. Give me your money and I'll give you some coaching. Yeah, we have a whole podcast here, 250 plus episodes of coaching in session, teaching you, educating you, helping you be better, finding your potential, your purpose, your fulfillment, everything. Doesn't cost you anything. It might cost a little bit of your time to listen and tune in. And I want you to understand that the coach you get might be a season. Because if you work with me, I might be a spring season for you, right? So I'm in the spring and eventually you finally bud and now you're ready for summer. Maybe at that point, you're someone who's going to be even stricter than I am. Oh, I need someone who's going to be stricter like David Goggins, right? He does coaching. So you're going to work with David after you already worked with me. Does that make me a bad coach? No, it doesn't, right? You just understand that now you're ready for the next level. Maybe you don't need me yet. You need someone before me, right? You need someone who's going to be very soft, very gentle, very loving and affectionate. And maybe you take that all the way through, right? For every single season, right? You just have that person who's loving and affection and supportive and cool, right? That is a different type of mentality. What type of mentality do you have? What type of person would you want in your life? And the reason why I'm bringing up today's topic, I mean, I should have probably said this in the beginning, but the reason why is because if you remember in the group episode, we were talking about people holding us accountable, right? People who can call us out on our BS. Finding the right coach who's not going to be afraid to call you out, even with love and affection, because most people are going to say, oh, I got to be careful what I say. F it. You say what you want. I remember when I was leaving high school and I got my internship doing business finance at the time, I had a mentor, and I talk about the story a few times on the podcast already. But for any new listeners who haven't heard about the story, I had a female. She was Caucasian. She was a mentor to me at the time, or she was given to me at the time to help me go through the process of the internship and to talk about business and to talk about college and stuff like that. I think she was like a junior in college. And so I was able to ask questions, and then we can talk about mindsets and stuff like that. And I remember I got in trouble after that conversation. Not that I liked her, not that it was anything, but apparently since I'm Black and since I am very assertive and dominant, I was very scary to her. And what had happened was she told the advisor saying, hey, I left the meeting and I was shaking, right? And I was just like, what? Like, that's crazy. Again, the advisor was a Black woman, and this is a feminist type woman, right? Oh, I'm going to protect my baby bird, right? I'm going to protect this woman. And the woman was definitely, soft and fragile type minded. So of course, she talked to me and she was like, that's not okay. You can't be making people feel that way. And it was her word against my word. I didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I talked about was mindset, mentality, and it wasn't anything directed at her. She didn't do anything wrong. Yet she told the advisor, like, I left shaking, right? Like I don't want him to be my mentee anymore. We never were mentees again. I was given someone else. It was just shocking to me because I remember my manager, I went and I talked to him and I said, I don't know what happened. And he just kind of shook his head. He goes, just leave it. Just leave it. So I was like, that's crazy, because all the people on my team, they knew me. They knew what type of person I was. Like, they knew my personality. Everyone loved me on my team, not just the men, but the women too. Because at the time there was a group of, it was like 4 men and 3 women. And so the women loved me. The women supported me. They would talk to me. They would help me out when I needed help. And the same thing with the men. But the moment I got put with a mentor that wasn't able to facilitate, I guess, all of this energy that I had, that was so scary, right? Because I guess being Black is scary all of a sudden. But that's in 2006 at the time. If that happened in 2023 right now, that girl probably would have got fired. Because you did what? He's scary because of, he said this. Times have changed just in the past almost 20 years. Because before it was, all right, women being berated by a man, right? For him talking macho or something. I wasn't even talking macho. I was just literally just saying, hey, this is what my ambition is. This is what my drive is. This is what I want to accomplish in life. And it was scary to her. I guess having an ambitious soul was scary to people, because someone is so willing to go out and to get what they want in their life. And the person's like, well, that's scary, right? For this person to get that, oh man, like this, he's going to have too much power. Let me say something. Let me be the victim. And that's what happened. Find the right mentor, find the right coach. Because if I had her as a mentor and I decided to do what she said, right? Lower my level, lower my ambition, lower my focus, I would be nowhere. I would still be in Connecticut, still be teaching, and I would just be another cog in the wheel. But I said, no, I'm not going to let a little hiccup like her, or a little hiccup like the whole feminist mentality, get in the way what it meant to be a man. Go out, get your own. It doesn't matter if you have to work with a company or you start your own company. You get to choose what you want for your life, and you need to make sure you have a coach that's going to be supportive to you and what you want. If you want someone who's just going to be there and to talk to, cool. Get someone to talk to. I'm about results. You want results, you come see me. That's what I'm about. Oh, I'm not about, I'm going to sugarcoat everything for you, and then all of a sudden you're going to get good things in your life. I see things. I see the potential in you. I see the capabilities in you, and I'm going to tell you about them. Now, if you don't believe them, that's on you. So sometimes I get those feminine women who are like, just like that girl who was my mentor, this is a lot of work. Oh, like I didn't think that, like I had to sacrifice this much. You have to sacrifice. You do. I'm not saying you have to sacrifice your favorite things. I'm not saying you have to sacrifice your whole entire life. Sacrifice a moment. There was a story done by Eric Thompson, right? He was talking about the concept of you have to sacrifice going out with the boys or going out with the friends or going out with the crew because you have a bigger purpose. What is your bigger purpose? How bad do you want your purpose? Because if you don't want your purpose doesn't want you. Yes, you have a destiny that you can reach, but if you don't want to reach it, it's not going to happen. You have to be bigger than your momentary pleasures. And those momentary pleasures might be going out with your friends. Those momentary pleasures might be sitting on the sofa, being on your smartphone. You need someone in your corner who's going to call you out when you're not showing up. So if you're not showing up, you need to have a coach that's going to help you understand that you're not showing up, that you could be more, that you're being too passive. Stop being passive. So that's why I say about 15 or 20% of the coaches that I had on are going to be those go-getters. Again, the other end of it is going to be, is this person good for me? Right? Because they might have that personality that you're looking for. Cool. But then at the same time, understand, are they going to support you as much as they want support? For me, it goes back to what I was saying about, just having a kid and bringing the kid to a babysitter or daycare. They're not going to do the best that they can for that kid. Some teachers don't even do the best they can for kids. And I'm not going to say it's for every teacher because I know there's some great teachers. I'm sure there's some great babysitters. I know some great babysitters. But I'm talking about the majority don't want to see you win, or the majority are going to look down on you. When I was a teacher, every single day, yeah, I had some rough kids, but guess what? Still loved them every single day. How can I be of service to you guys today, right? What can we do? What can we learn? That was the goal every single day, to learn, to be effective. Yet today, if we are too effective, if we're too focused on our purpose, our passions, our gifts, it's toxic. So what I would recommend for anyone who's looking to find a right coach, find someone who's going to put your feet to the flame. Find someone who's going to support you. Don't just find someone in the wild and say, well, this is my coach, right? Do your due diligence. I do my due diligence with people on the podcast. But then, of course, just because they come on the podcast and we talk about certain topics, they might have a good mindset to be a coach, but it doesn't mean that they're your coach. All right. So if you need help finding a coach, head over to reardenconcepts.com. I have recommended more coaches to people than I can even think about, because me having the platform that I have is a wonderful tool for coaches to come on. It's a great blessing for a coach to come on coaching a session, because then they're in the back of my head. Someone will say, hey, I'm looking for a coach. And I said, what type of coach are you looking for? I'm looking for a mindset coach. And I say, okay, well, I'm not going to say, well, I'm a mindset coach. I'm going to say, well, what type of personality are you looking for? They might say, I'm looking for this type of personality. And if it's my personality, I'm just like, that's me. But if it's not my personality, I'm going to say, you probably want this person, right? I do that all the time because I understand I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea again. I understand that I can't change everyone. I understand I can't help everyone. So the coaches that come on coaching in session, I'm going to use for my toolbox. Now, some coaches, they come in my toolbox and I learn from time, right? From who they become and who they develop into. Oh, this is not a good coach. Toss them away from that toolbox. Doesn't mean I'm going to delete their interview. Doesn't mean I'm going to delete their episode. So I always encourage people to do your due diligence. I always encourage people to do the work, because this is going to be, I guess, like that disclaimer, right? Because what Rearden Concepts will be doing in the future is that we're going to have a school for coaches to come and become accredited. And during that process, right, yes, we're going to have some of those coaches come on coaching in session. They're going to be those main people who are going to be interviewed. So if we have, a year, there's going to be 50 interviews. So it'll be 50 people who come get the accreditation for coaching in session. Every single year, I can just keep using the same people if I want to. Most likely I won't, because once you do an interview, it's kind of like, cool, maybe a group episode, but I'm looking at how can we create value, right? In people, not just in our pockets. And sometimes coaches want to create value in people. but then sometimes they do want to take care of themselves too. And I'm not saying that you should be selfless, right? But look at what they do, right? Go to their website, check out what they offer, check out the free stuff, check out the resources. People who really care will have blogs. People who really care are going to have videos for you. People are going to be showing up every single day. I don't know many coaches who do 3 episodes of a podcast a week, who do 2 motivational videos a week, who do a live show on Saturday, who do a weekly blog every Sunday. I don't know many coaches who do that. Do you? Because if you did, you'd probably say me. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.